why welding?
It's maybe something new. I've done a lot of construction previously since I graduated, but I want to get something I can go into a career and stop working go nowhere jobs pretty much. I have a few friends that do welding and they like it and they bring home they live,
That's the thing, welding is everywhere. It's all different types of welding. When you do the school, you'll learn all different processes that I was telling you, and you'll definitely figure out which one you like the best, and you'll actually kind of drift towards that. Like me personally, gives me 6 to 10 over the roof here. I love 6 to 10. 6 to 10 is one of my favorite things.
Is that what this is?
No, this is TIG. This is TIG. I really like TIG too. The main thing I like about TIG is that it's clean. No sparks, you're not going to get burned. You go in, it's almost like a white glove kind of welding. You go in, clean, and then come out. You're not going to have to get down there and get sparks all over you, a bunch of grinding. That's the one thing I really like about stainless.
Brian said that this right here pays about $35 to $40 an hour. Not bad, right?
Yeah. All welding varies. Let's say from the bottom of welding, which is, let's say, MIG or flux core, you can start anywhere from $15 an hour. And you can go all the way up to, like you were saying, 35 to 45. Go down to Texas or something like that and get a pipe welding job, go down.
All right, if y'all can come a little closer, that'd be fine. I want to welcome you to Tulsa Welding School. My name is John. I'm the lead pipe fitting instructor here for Tulsa. This program that we have here is relatively new to us at the Jacksonville campus. It's in its infancy stages, but well on its way. We've already graduated several students out of here through the program. The program will run 4 phases, 3 weeks each phase, and you have to be able to graduate the welding side first before you can take this as an add-on. And what this is designed to do is to teach how to pipe fit so you're more marketable to an employer. When they're basically buy one, get one. So you can do 2 things instead of 1, makes you more marketable, opens more doors. Okay, so not only will you be able to weld what you see out here, but now you'll be able to fit it up. Okay, what we teach is offsets, rolling offsets, how to thread, how to bend, and how to use various fittings such as a butt welded fitting, socket welded fitting to make piping systems. Okay, if you look around at any building in the United States, they all have sprinkler systems by code. A lot of the sprinkler systems are done with threaded pipe. We teach threaded pipe. So if you didn't want to do, a shipyard work or do shutdowns, you're able to do fire sprinkler installation. Pays just as well. Okay, the goal out here is to make sure that you understand how pipe is fit together, and that way when you go and talk to an employer, you can say, I can do both. Okay, if you can do both, you're worth more to that employer. So that kind of bumps you up a little bit higher when you go to your interview. Okay, what we like to teach out here is work ethics foremost. Obviously that you have an understanding and a knowledge of what we're teaching as far as pipe fitting, but a resume will get you an interview will get you a job, but what you learn right here will keep that job. And that's what it's all about. We want to get employed, we want to stay employed, support our families, whatever the reason is to be employed. This is what we're trying to do. This was totally and 100% built and designed by the instructors here at Tulsa Welding School, so you can kind of see what the capabilities are of the instructors that's going to be being passed on to the students. If there's any questions as to how this works, please feel free to ask. Does anybody have any questions for me? Like I said, this is an add-on. You have to graduate the weld side. It's 4 phases, 3 weeks each phase. This is the final phase. This is where I give them their work assignments. They have to come here, look at the, we'll let them go ahead and go back inside. There is a lab inside that's set up similar, where everything they learn in there is actually out here for their final stage. Any questions? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by and enjoy the rest of the day at Tulsa.
gonna be on TV on here, man. All right, come on. But anyway, this is what I started off doing. It was great. I didn't know how to TIG weld until I got a few years into my career. Come on over here. Don't be shy. Shoot. Looks like I'm not talking to anybody. What? Don't worry. I got you back. You and me. All right. But yeah, it was just a long trade. I first started off stick welding, like what they do in phase 1. And as I went through, I started getting better and better. And I seen the TIG welding, and it was like, I was just a sponge for the most part. I had to get more. And when I got more, I got paid more. So that was the deal. Now, it was a compromise trading off this for out in the field. The hours were out there, and you had a per diem and all that stuff in the field versus here. It's basically a 40-hour week. But they have a salary. So they still have to pay competitively in order to keep the instructors from just leaving. Now, it's not the highest paying as you would make in the field, but I don't have to travel no more. I go home every day and do the same thing. It's almost like having a boss or a foreman for the most part. And believe it or not, my boss, the guy in the red shirt, that guy right there, they both graduated from here. The guy sitting in there in that booth, that other instructor, he was my student at one time. I've been here 10 years. It's crazy. I've been welding total 18 years. And it went by fast. Super fast. Super fast. Did she give y'all hoods? No? Wow. All right, let's grab one. You're welder. You're the welder. Hey, start off using numbers. I've seen people on Facebook, these dads showing their kids checking an art. Come on in here, I'll show you what we do. All right, this right here is our TIG torch. As you start going into phase. All right. Oh, see what I got to deal with? You're good. We're live streaming here.
Here he goes.
Yeah, I got them all. All right. So this is TIG weld. If you decide to come here and this is what you want to do for a career, you got to start somewhere. I know that when I started Winn-Dixie, this is not a career I wanted to be with in my adult life. I didn't know nothing about welding, and it led me in a good spot. Never worry about a job. But TIG welding, we start off with phase 6. We teach you how to actually hold the torch, what the function of it is, how to put it together, and how to set the machine. And it's the same as rule. It's pretty much the same no matter where you go. It's like if you look at a car battery. What does it have on a car battery? There's a positive and a negative. Well, guess what we got? We got a positive and a negative. So it's super easy. You want to make sure the ground goes to what side?
Ground.
The ground, the negative. And when you're TIG welding, that's what you weld with. When you're stick welding, you weld with the positive side, like a battery cable. So it's pretty easy. We explain all that. We spend at least one day a week in classroom going over what we're working with. Now, a lot of people don't know what this is. This is tungsten. This is what we use to melt down the filler wire, kind of like what he did over there on the high frequency, except he sits down and uses a little floater mill. This here,
It's all put together already.
yeah, well, we teach you how to put it together. It
No, I
comes
mean
apart.
like how he's got all the other tools and
Yes.
he's like working with his foot. That's just one
Right.
piece.
That's one piece. And it has all this. This is, of course, brass because it's a very good conductor of electricity. And all these pieces are put together to make up your TIG torch. And you can buy different kinds of screens, different kinds of cups. If you look at these guys on TV, like these hot rodding shows where they actually TIG weld, that's just small fab shop welding. That's not industrial welding because you'd never want to expose yourself for long periods of time without sleeves on like they do on TV, and we don't recommend that. I mean, because we have to set by example. That's TV, this is reality. Yes, they still weld, but not much. And when we put it all together, we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to, set your tungsten in there. And there is a gas flow that goes through here, which we use. It's already pre-piped plumbing. We use a flow meter, and there is a gas that comes through here. This is called tungsten inert gas, which is TIG. They use 100% argon, which is supplied out there by that big old white tank. Y'all don't know if you've seen that out there. Yeah, and during breaks we make sure we shut it off because it's wasteful. We use a gas, tungsten, and electricity from a heat source to be able to create an arc to weld with on our pipe. Our filler metal, this is how we get the beads. Has anybody ever seen brazing before, where they use an oxy-fuel torch? Or how about a hot glue gun? Anybody ever seen hot glue gun? Yeah. Arts and crafts, good stuff. This is basically like your glue, and this is like your gun that melts the glue. But the only trick is not to touch that piece right there to here. Now the reason why it don't shock me is because I'm not grounded. If I was to do this and touch myself, yeah, I'd be dancing like a little fairy. It wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't hurt me, but it would not be fun, okay? The reason why I wear gloves is because it gets hot and all that good stuff. And we give you, when you come here, we give you everything you need except for your jeans and your boots and your shirt. We give you leathers, we give you everything you basically need to get started. Now as you go through the school, a lot of people will acquire auto darting helmets, they'll get their own personal gear, just whatever you want. Auto darting helmets are good, but I don't care for them. I've been welding with this crazy thing for a long time. And I didn't draw all this. The students did it for me. I just put stickers on. I'm good at putting stickers on. Now generally I teach phase 7, which is the first course of advanced pipe welding. I do the exact same thing I'm doing with you guys as I do with my students, except I might have 20 of them at one time. And I'll have to do about 5 people at a time because not everybody can hear me or see what I'm doing. Okay? What I'll do is I'll set the cup up on the pipe. Without touching this, I'll strike it with the wire like lighting a match, like that. Once it lights, there's going to be an arc, like you had over there. It's going to be a different arc. And I'm going to use the heat or the flame from the end of that tungsten to melt this wire to make that bead. And hopefully I can find out as good as that guy did. I didn't do it. He's pretty good. Now, what they call this is TIG, tungsten inert gas. This tungsten puts off heat at about 2,300 degrees. 2,300 degrees. So that's pretty hot as the sun. It takes about 1,800 to 2,000 to melt this. Now, if I was trying to melt my tungsten, it takes about 5,500 degrees to melt the tungsten. It's ridiculously hot. That's why it's such a good conductor of heat and electricity, because it can withstand so much heat. It's crazy. The science, but it's stuff we get to work with and weld with and build stuff with. Everywhere you go, every time you see something that needs welding, like these I-beams on the pipe, a welder had to do it. Remember, the supply is not enough of. The demand, there's plenty. That's why the pay is crazy. Remember that phase 11 I told you about with Dan Zimmerman? They were hiring at $27 an hour, $110 a day per diem, for 7 days a week. For 7 days at $110, you know, that's 770. That's times 200. And then you get your paycheck. So that's almost $1,000, and you ain't even got paid with a paycheck yet if you work overtime. That's just the one company. We have National Boiler Service. Come here, they do tube welding on steam piping. These power plants are shut down. It's pretty awesome. You heard of them? Yeah. I love it. No, never trade it for any other career. Although I like to be like a professional fisherman. But you know, that sucks. I get more mad than anything when they don't bite it. Alright, so I'm gonna set this cup on here. I'm gonna say, watch your eyes, then I'm gonna strike it, and you'll see my hand. I like to call it a chicken wing or rolling my wrist, walking the cup. I'm gonna be making this motion, okay? And don't be shy. If you want to step up a little closer to see it, come up close. Just be careful, that might get a little warm. Alright? Alright, here we go. Let's see, make sure we want to wrap in here. Alright, let's do it. Watch your eyes. So I'm gonna get the pipe melting first. Once I get it melting, I'm gonna set the wire right in front and walk towards it with the cup. Rolling it left to right. So all I'm doing is just smoothing out this filler wire. Rolling it left, right. As I roll it, I twist the cup. And it takes practice to do all this. It takes practice to roll that cup on its very edge like that. All I was doing was this. Smoothing out the wire left and right. Just spreading it out. This didn't really do a bunch of movement. I just held it on the pipe like this. And walked the cup up to it. Okay? This is just a walking the cup technique. Some people do freehand technique, which they actually write with it like a pencil. But the only problem with that is when you put your hand on here like this, guess what your hand does? It gets hot. Yeah, it starts cooking. You put your fingers near it, yeah, it's going to get hot. Now they have gloves, special gloves and stuff for that. But we teach a curriculum to where we teach them to walk the cup. You can make it look 10 times better than anybody that free hands. Because it's all, depends on how shaky it is and how hot your hand gets. Okay? Anybody have any questions? None? Man, shoot.
Why does it change colors?
Why does it change colors? Well, because this is a stainless wire, and this is carbon pipe. When it changes colors, if there's a lot of heat on this pipe, it'll start getting darker and darker in color, and it'll start contaminating the pipe along with the weld. Now, if you use stainless wire, this should be a colorful weld. If it starts turning gray like the pipe or like that dust right there, you're putting too much heat into your pipe, and you're burning it up. If I keep welding on it without letting it cool, it gets worse, right? Right. Or you might not just be moving fast enough. Sometimes these guys will get down here and their arms, it looks crazy. They look like trying to fly away like that chicken wing we were talking about. Or we could just turn it down, go slower, and make the heat not so hot. Okay? And this is what they do in phase 7. We teach everybody, starts off doing this. And as they progress, they end up welding smaller pipe like this in that loop right there. That's nobody's project, it's just somebody left up there. And we go as a building block. We're training you how to get out of here, so when you get out of here, hopefully you'll be ready to get one of those jobs paying decent money. Now the base pay that I've heard is around $15 starting out as a helper, or even a helper welder. Because you got to get certified. Once you get certified welding, then your pay goes up. I never look back. Never. Remember, all I had was high school. In middle school, I was a special ed. Yeah, I was kind of slow. But now, you know, once I figured out that my dad whooped my butt enough, told me I need to quit being lazy, start doing something, I started making progress. And yeah, I had a curfew when I was working at home. I was working to come home. I had to be home 10 o'clock during the weeknights. Weekends, I could do whatever I want, as long as I let my parents know. But if I was staying out and I come home late, even I was out of high school, I stayed at home for a year, saving my money. I still had a curfew that sucked. So I got gone home and didn't realize what bills were and moved out. Life started sucking. Because then I had to pay bills. It was like, this sucks. And then I had to do whatever I could to make bills, you know what I mean? It's just a domino effect. But it never went backwards. That's the beauty of welding. I'll go anywhere I want in the country and weld. But I like teaching young people, I like teaching any kind of people, because the end result, it's not how much money you make, the end result is who you affect in your life. And when you're dead and gone, nobody cares about how much money you make. Only people remember for who you are and what you taught them. That was a hardship for me, growing up. I started here at 27. I'm almost 40. It's crazy. Any got any questions? Nope. If you do decide to do this, come and talk to me. I usually teach down to BL. Don't be shy. Say hi. Hey, what's up, Brian? You remember me a demo? You don't remember. I usually remember the face of his name. Just say hi to me. If I see you and I recognize you, I'll be like, hey, I remember you. Or I remember you, or I might even remember you. All right. seeing y'all. I look forward to working with you.
I'll take all the time.
Never mind.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all coming out. Have a great day. But either way, it's nice to go.
Hey, you got any water?
Did you hear the part about the ferry?
If I put stuff on the dance around,
Like a ferry. I was like, if somebody, they're going to be on there like, I've heard of that ferry. I've heard that ferry.
Hey, it's all about getting going, man.
You killed it. You killed it.
Hey, you go shock yourself because you want to make it around the ferry.
Shock yourself or something?
that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. He said, now, see, I'm not shocking myself, but I'm not drowning. I was drowning. I said,
Oh, it's not. I didn't hear that
like
part.
ferry.
I just heard part of the ferry. I was fooling the camera.
Dude, you get in the
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to Tulsa Welding School here in Jacksonville, Florida. My name is John George. I am the lead pipe fitting instructor for the school. We have, the program is an add-on program that you're able to take if you graduate the welding program. Program will run 4 phases, 3 weeks each phase. And what you'll learn is what you kind of see out here. We'll teach you how to fit with welded fittings, butt welded, socket welded. We'll teach threading and we teach bending. This platform right here was 100% built by the instructors here from the ground up. And what it is to use for is to teach on-the-job training. So once you move from inside the building in the laboratory there, you'll come out here, and this is your final stage, which you can see we have set up to test the skills that you've learned. And what you'll do is you'll get your assignment, You'll look and gather your material. You bring everything out here, and all the work is done out here on the platform. And then you'll get graded out in accordance with your abilities and skills. What this is designed to do is so when you get a job and you first walk out, you won't be shocked as to what you see. You already have an idea what it takes to go ahead and get a job set up, complete that job, and break it down. So we teach how to install valves, and we'll do a lot of heavy pipe, the 5-inch pipe. There's 2-inch pipe. You can see these behind me here demonstrates butt welded fitting, threaded and bent. And the students, those will come down and the students will make their own and install them for fit up and then get graded out. So if there's not any questions, okay, then that'll conclude this demonstration. Thank you for your time.
You want to learn how well? Come on down here to Tulsa. Let me show you something. What's up? Yeah, man.
Now, if it's blue like mine, guess what I'm going to say? Can you explain why you get color in that?
Hey, that is not what I was doing. I was saying, where does the color come from?
No.
And you
That
said
was black.
input, and that was
You
the
put
answer.
me on blast.
No, you said it's your question.
Yeah, right. You knew that was my question for you saying, hey,
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Tulsa Welding School. This is what we do here. We'll show you how to walk the cup a little bit. Here we go. That's how we do it. Gonna turn this thing up just a little bit, go about 155, walk this cup on this 5-inch, all right? Here we go.
5G.
5G.
Alright, let me get some. Alright, let me get some. He's picking up right up where he left off. He's picking up right up where he left off.
Murphy. Murphy.
This is what we'd be doing in phase 7. Starting out, walking stringer beads, walking the cup around a 5-inch pipe, 5G. Get you started out, then we'll move to 2-inch. This is what we'd be doing in phase 7. Starting out, walking stringer beads, walking the cup around a 5-inch pipe, 5G. Get you started out, and then we'll move to 2. We don't have any 2-inch here today, but this is a good version of what we actually show you when we start phase 7. We'll do one more for you. We don't have any 2-inch here today, but this is a good version of what we actually show you when we start phase 7. We'll do one more for you. That's how we do it around here. I think I might want my next. That's how we do it around here. This one I might run all the way from the bottom to the top. Get it. Come on. Oh, that's laying in there. That's it. I think I might want my next one. I might run all the way from the bottom to the top.
Hi, welcome to Tulsa Welding School. My name is John. I'm the lead pipe fitting instructor here at Tulsa Welding School, and I wanted to introduce you to our new pipe fitting program. We did a add-on to the welding program. Once you graduate from the welding program, you'll be able to elect to take the pipe fitter course. Pipe fitter course runs 4 phases, 3 weeks each phase, where you'll learn various parts of pipe fitting, from bending pipe to threading pipe to socket weld and butt welded fittings that are the most common in the industry today. What this means to you is that makes you more marketable to an employer. Not only can you weld the pipe, but you can also fit it as well. So he's kind of getting a 2-for-1 deal. What we teach here, as you can see behind me, this is our phase 4, where the students, once they complete the last phase, their last 3 weeks, and we're doing what we can to get them ready for the job market. Okay, once they have their skills, they'll learn that this is on-the-job training. They'll come out here with get their fittings, get their instructions. They'll bring out all the tools that they need. They'll set up out here, and they'll actually do the fitting and the grading right here on the platform. And what that allows them to do is, once they secure a job, there won't be a shock when they walk out into a plant or a shipyard or any place that they can get, the employment that they're seeking, and they'll see the same kind of setup.
We have a question from the chat. What kind of job would a pipe fitter do?
Okay, the question was what kind of jobs would a pipe fitter do? The best answer to that is there's a wide variety. Any place that you need to move water, fuel, gases, anything of that nature goes through pipe or a hose. That's the only way to move liquid from one place to another. So what they're learning out here is how to assemble a completed piping system to move that product from point A to point B. That could be in a power plant, that could be on a U.S. Navy vessel. One of the more common ones too is, if you look at every major building in America by code has to have fire suppression system in it. Well, to get a fire suppression system is pipe installation. So there's a wide variety that you can do once you get these skills. And what we teach the skill is, you learn the triangulations, you learn to take the measurements, you learn to do the math and lay out the complete job, get your materials, cut your pipes to length, put it together, and then the welder or yourself, since you've already graduated the welding side, can weld out the joints. If it's threaded, you'll learn that, to use Teflon tape, how to make that a watertight joint, and therefore we'll get the product from point A to point B. Is there any other questions? Okay, thank you for your time, appreciate it.
is Shane Murphy. I'm Brian Akers. We're going to do something a lot of people do. I'm going to feed the wire while he walks the cup. So I'm going to strike the arc and everything like we're doing a combo weld. You ready?
Now we got Zach Burtz. He's going to show us some stainless and aluminum welds. We couldn't actually weld them on the camera because the high frequency will actually distort the camera. So we're just going to go ahead and show you. That's aluminum, high frequency. Just running stringer beads, lap joint, stringer beads. So we do around here, that would be phase 9 at Tulsa Welding School. Holding that. Alright.
Alright, one of the things we also teach is people how to weld left-handed other than their right hand or vice versa. I'm going to run a bead just left-handed so you can see that we do both sides of the pipe, right or left-handed. Left-handed welds, we do them all here at Tulsa Welding School. I made that slip.
once we're done, then we'll get you back over in our area and we'll actually go through all the steps, okay? So, I'll run this. So again, I'm the financial aid director. We have 3 financial aid advisors here on the campus, and based on the last name, you'll be grouped with your financial aid advisor based on your last name, and they'll help you through your process the whole time you're here, okay? So Megan, if you just want to go ahead and talk about financial aid, how it works, what we do.
So basically there's different kinds of financial aid. Financial aid is basically anything that's going to help you pay for school. So of course the Pell Grant, everybody wants the Pell Grant because it's free to you. You don't have to repay it.
She is probably.
Yeah, let's bring some people in, and then for you ladies, whoever's talking, just use this microphone while you talk. And then we'll go, and then I'll sit in the back and watch them.
He's working on an application right now. I can bring his mom in though.
So, yeah.
So we get to do it over, you guys.
Just give me like a 60-second heads up.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. He needs you to use this.
Testing. Ow. I have to use a microphone. I hate you. Boom, boom, shh, boom, boom, shh.
Rock our karaoke here. Really?
So what, you guys gonna get started soon?
Hey. You ain't bring us no pizza? No, I'm just kidding.
testing? I don't know.
Okay, welcome you guys. I'm Robin. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here. So Megan and I are just going to speak to you guys about the process first. And then we'll get you guys with the National Financial Aid Advisor to get started, okay? So again, I'm the Director. There are 3 financial aid advisors here. Based on your last name and your alpha, that depends on who you will be working with, okay?
Okay, so my name's Megan. I'm a financial aid advisor here at Tulsa. Some of you I have worked with already, so I see some familiar faces. Basically, financial aid is any kind of assistance that helps you pay for school. So the first one is the Pell Grant. If you have any VA benefits that'll help you pay for school, you can use that. WorkSource is a common agency. Basically, you go do an application with them. They'll walk you through the whole process. It's another scholarship that you don't have to repay.
And then there's also like the Florida prepays, and then some people have other loans, you know, that they give out to their kids and stuff like that. So any agency funding that we have that's available or that you guys have, you let us know and we'll incorporate it into your financial aid.
Yes. So the Parent Plus loan is, it gives our students who are considered dependents, gives their parents an opportunity to apply for a loan to cover what their student loans and grants don't cover. So once the FAFSA is done, we'll know what the student is eligible for, and then if the parent needs to apply for the Plus loan, we'll go over that with the parent. Your subsidized and unsubsidized loans are going to cover the majority of your tuition here if you're not using any other assistance other than federal student loans and grants. And then you also have private loan options. We use Sallie Mae, which is an alternative loan. So if your subsidized loans and grants and scholarships don't cover all of your tuition, there's also private loan options for you guys. So things that you'll need to complete the FAFSA and get your financial aid completed. If you're doing the FAFSA, you're going to need tax information. If you haven't filed your taxes because you're not required to, that's fine. We're still going to need to know the amount that you made for 2015, so they're going to ask you some income information. They just might not ask for your taxes. Your high school diploma or GED is very, very important. You can't start without it. So make sure your admissions representative, whoever enrolls you in the program, make sure you get a copy of your GED or high school diploma to them. We're going to go over the user ID and the FAFSA in just a second. But basically, well, we can go to the next one. Okay, so creating a PIN number also is called an FSA ID. Your ID is basically your electronic signature. You're going to put in a whole bunch of information and go through the application. The very first page looks like this. You're going to use it to sign all of your student loan and federal student loan and grant information that you have to do online. So the FAFSA or the FSA ID is very important. I like to have my students go ahead and do that first and get it out of the way. That way we can just bam, 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 sign everything.
You only have to do it once. So once you create a user ID and password, it's yours for life. So any other school that you go to attend, you would use that same user ID and password.
Yeah, so make sure you write it down.
We have a question from the chat. Do you need to show up in person to fill out your financial aid, or can you do that online?
You can do it online. If we go to the next page, has the FAFSA website on there? Oh. Okay, so the website's not actually on there, but the website is www.fafsa.ed.gov. And you'll just go to this. This is what the homepage looks like, and you'll click Start a New FAFSA. It'll give you the opportunity to create an FSA ID. Then you'll go in and start the FAFSA and complete all of your information.
And if you do your FAFSA online, once you've completed it, then you'll just want to contact the school in about a day or two. Let us know that you've done so that we can pull that information into the process and move forward with the process.
Yes, and also when you're completing the FAFSA, it's going to ask you for a federal school code. You want to make sure that you put the code on the FAFSA so that we can see the information that you're putting on there and we can see what you're eligible for. This is the federal school code for Tulsa Welding School. Whenever you put this code in, it's going to come up as Tulsa, Oklahoma. but we share the same code with all campuses. So this is the code that, if you're looking to attend the Jacksonville campus, make sure you don't do one on the left side that's asking you for the state zip code, because nothing's going to come up when you put in Tulsa Welding School. So make sure you use that school code. Okay, so this is the federal student aid, the other website. You're basically, after your application is done, in order for you to take out your student loans, you're going to have to do a promissory note and do some entrance counseling. This is the website that you're going to do it on. You'll go up here to log in. You'll put in your FSA ID that you created for your FAFSA. So the FAFSA ID and this ID are both the same. And then you'll complete your entrance counseling, which is basically just general information that you need to know about your student loans and grants. It's going to tell you when you're paying them back, go over interest rates with you, and all of that fun stuff.
So it just wants to make sure that you guys understand the concept of taking out student loans and being responsible and paying them back. So it's kind of almost like you read a little section, and then you have to answer a few questions. Then just make sure that you guys fully understand that you are taking out these loans.
And then your promissory notes, if you are a Parent Plus loan borrower or just a subsidized, unsubsidized student loan borrower, you're going to have to do a promissory note, which is just you are promising the Department of Education that you are going to repay any federal student loans that you borrow. Ask you a whole bunch of information. You'll just fill it out, put some references in there, and then you'll sign it electronically.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
When you take out the student loan, they give you a 6-month grace period from the last day that you. So basically, when you graduate, you have 6 months before you have to start repaying back those student loans. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you have 10 years to repay. So. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they give you 10 years to pay it off. You don't have to wait the 6 months. They just give you that courtesy. You can start paying back at any time with no penalty, but it gives you 10 years to pay it off. The average repayment for us is about $73 to $100 a month for what you borrow here.
And that's for the standard, the 6-month grace period after you graduate.
Yeah.
And go ahead. There's different repayment plans as well. So let's say you graduate, you start making your payments, but you lose your job and you're a financial hardship. There's different repayment plans that you can qualify for. So you need to make sure that you are staying in contact with your federal loan servicer. They can give you the options that you have for repayment so that you're not going into default, because default is bad. Very bad. Okay. So this is the PLUS loan application. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. It gives the parent the opportunity to apply for a loan to cover any balance that the student's loans and grants don't cover. Then you want to make sure that the information you're putting in the FAFSA is accurate to the best of your knowledge, because your FAFSA can be selected for verification. Verification is just a process where you have to prove everything you put on the FAFSA is true and correct. So your financial aid advisor might request additional documents like tax transcripts, W-2s, SNAP benefit proof, all kinds of stuff like that. So just make sure the information you put on the FAFSA is true as you can get it, basically. Any questions? Nope. Cool. Okay.
Well, all 4 of us are here today, so financial aid is fully staffed. So we are located right through these double doors, and we're the first 3 cubicles, and then the financial aid office where the computers and stuff are is right there. So if you guys want to come over, we'll get you with someone one-on-one, and we can go ahead and start the process if you like, okay? We can take a look, we can pull your name up and just make sure that everything's done and complete.
He's good to go.
And that you don't need anything else?
Yeah, we saw him this morning and he's all set. Yeah, the only thing we're waiting is your FAFSA. Your FAFSA will come back. Your FAFSA takes about 3 days to process. So once your FAFSA is done processing, we'll get a copy of it and then we'll let you know if we need anything else from you. But right now, you're good. Okay?
So the FAFSA is first, and then you do the
Yes. Yep. You got it. Okay, thanks.
Welding does give you a lot of freedom, and I mean it gives you tons of freedom. You're looking at your world through a 2x4 window, and it is. It's the time honestly has no place once you drop your hood. When you drop your hood, you are in your own place. Working in Alaska's on the North Slope in particular is it's a different world. It's an awesome job. I absolutely love it. By far the best job I've ever had. Before working in Alaska, I spent most of my time running my own personal rig, traveling from job to job, which didn't afford me the time to be home the way that my job in Alaska does.
What his career brings to the family is it's stability, job stability, which I think is extremely important.
I have 3 weeks on and then 3 weeks off, and at 3 weeks off, that R&R, I enjoy at home. I'm able to be at home more.
Who he is, hard work is important to him, and that's his life. He wants to work hard to make sure that his loved ones are provided for, and I saw that right away.
Outside of college and Tulsa Welding School, I don't think I would have had a career like this. Not at all. When I'm not welding and I'm at home, relaxing, I just like to ride my bike. I love the sound. I love the sound. And that is there, when I'm riding, there's an incredible sense of freedom, that feeling of freedom. Working the way I do and the career that I have, when I'm ready to make upgrades, I don't have to wait. You know, if I wanted to go out and change the color, paint it, I can do it. Welding allows me to save money. It allows me to comfortably pay my expenses and to take care of my family the way.
Roller coasters or ships, tanks, you know, a bunch of that stuff. And it's just interested me, the whole hands-on part of the trade, rather than sitting there reading out of a book. You can actually sit there and read off of a blueprint and then create something out of it. Before graduating high school, leading up to graduating high school, we had that, there's always that sense of being lost, kind of what do we do?
There probably were some questions about what Matt's future would look like, just because he always needed something that was different than conventional.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. You know, I'm about to be 18, I'm technically an adult.
He was always really good at wanting to do things and make things with his hands.
I hated sitting in a classroom.
I was very excited when he stumbled on an interest in welding.
And I don't think that I realized how much I was going to like welding, but it just seemed like a good decision. It just seemed like the whole idea of it fell into place at such a good time that it was hard to pass up on it. Even if I wasn't a welder for a living, I could still have a great time building things and doing things that I could only do if I knew how to weld. Getting myself a piece of land, having a truck, and having solid work is probably one of the main goals right now. I like to have some room to do things, you know, shoot guns and have dogs, and the goal is definitely reachable. You just gotta put in hard work. Right now I'm working for a small shop, all welding shop, welding fabrication. It was all new to what they were doing. I had no idea how that shop ran.
Matt, early in his career, is doing very well for his age.
He was willing to give me a chance and kept me around.
He's got a lot of energy. He stays with it, and he tries to get, every time he welds, he tries to get that one better and better. And that's what you need, and that's what you want. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for hiring young people, but I'm not. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll hire another Tulsa graduate if I get a chance and grow.
It's cool to finally find something that I was actually decent at and felt like I could work to get better at it, and just had that at Krause, and I'm a Tulsa Welding School graduate. I think I decided to go into welding just because
All right, good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Tulsa Welding School. This is what we call plant jacks. This was designed 100% by the instructors here at Tulsa. From the ground up, it was built, and the thought went into how can we create a pipe fitting program that'll benefit the students, so when you graduate, you'll be able to not only weld the pipe, but fit the pipe, okay? So the course contains 4 phases, 3 weeks each phase. So you have to graduate the welding side before you could take this add-on program. This program is relatively new. We started it in, I believe it was March time frame, and we're up and running full speed, and we've already graduated 3 classes out of here. Okay, what this does for you is makes you more marketable and more, to an employer. When you sit down and talk welding or fitting, it opens up 2 different doors. Or a lot of times if you're looking on the internet, it'll say welder fitter combination. That's what they're looking for, and that's what you'll be. Okay, so what that means to you is it could mean a little bit more in your pocket in the paycheck, because you can do both. And maybe sometimes if work gets light, you get to stay on because you can do both. And it's just like going to a store and you want to buy one, get one. Employers are the same way. I want to buy one and get one, right? It's a better deal all the way around. So what you see set up out here is set up just like you would see at similar job sites. This is our phase 4, final phase before you graduate. And everything that you learn inside in the lab, you'll come out here and apply. Different scenarios. A 5-inch pipe, these 3 back here, you'll learn butt welded fittings, threaded pipe, and bent pipe. Okay, and I teach all that in phase 2 and 3. And then you'll come out here, what you'll do is you'll get your assignment, your test. It's all 100% test out here from start to finish. We don't practice out here, practice is inside. So let's say you got to do this 5-inch one. All right, this won't be here. What'll be here will be this flange and that flange down there and nothing in between. You'll have a piece of paper that has it all laid out for you minus the measurements. That's on the student to pull the measurements, figure out what he needs as far as material, get it all, bring it out here, set up your stands, set up what you're going to cut with, and then start your assembly. So you'll take your first overall measurements, and then you'll come up with your cut lengths, which you learn in the welding side how to do your takeoffs. Same thing applies here. You learn how to do your takeoffs so that you can cut the right length of pipe. Make all your cuts, make your bevels, and then you start assembly. When you're done with the assembly, then I'll come out and grade it out. Of course, if you need help along the way, I'm always here. But by the time you get out here, I'll have the confidence in you that I don't have to be out here. That's the goal. The goal is that you get, just like if I'm an employer and you're my employee, here's your assignment for the day, get your stuff, knock the job out. That's how it works out there. You know, your employer is not going to be walking around, you know, holding your hand. So we want to set you up for success by making you independent in this craft. Just like in the welding side, when you're done phase 10, you know, you're pretty much on your own. You know what's expected, you know what to do, and you just do it. And that's what employers want. They want you to be able to come out here, do what they want done in a timely manner, efficient, minimal mistakes. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, so, you know, that happens. But what we want is to get you as close to perfect as we can. I mean, 20, 30 years down the road, I mean, may not be perfect. You know, I'm not perfect, make mistakes. But it's how you recover from those mistakes that will cost your employer minimal amount of time lost, minimal amount of material lost. Okay, because we all know a mistake is going to get made. It's how we recover from that, and I teach that here. Because as students, you'll make a mistake. But you learn more from your mistakes than what I show you on a chalkboard. Okay, so we make a mistake, we sit down and we figure out why we made that mistake, how we made it, how we recover from it. Okay, so that's what this is totally set up to do, is to get you ready to call that employer and say, I'm ready for an interview, I'm ready to come work for you. That is my goal. Out here, we have to put grades on stuff, but grades are not that important out here as do you get it? Okay, because your resume will get you an interview, your interview will get you the job, but what you learn here will keep that job. That's my goal. Get you in the door, get you working, and teach you how to keep that job in this industry. Is there any questions? No questions today? You don't want to know about? Good to go? Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your time here at Tulsa.
And it doesn't change in the workplace either. It's cool. It's just
That's my
Oh, okay. Yeah, where are y'all going to be at?
Yeah, all three of us right here.
Okay, cool. Just make sure you speak up so the camera can.
How long we got? Just tell them that we think all the things that you're saying now. Tell them about the school. Tell them about how long.
I don't have the fan. I can't read something.
What? We need a damn TV monitor right here.
Teleprompter.
You know, like President Obama did before he started. So yeah.
We're going to be in there together. All three. And then go through the program and let him, you talk about phase 1, you talk about phase 2, you talk about phase 3, you talk about phase 4. You need to figure this out.
You guys got this.
Yeah, you'll be great. And just make sure you speak up so the mic can hit you too. And PJ, how's the camera looking over here, buddy?
Hey, I think if I had dipping.
These guys are going to stand here and talk about all the different phases and stuff. Is it cool if I kill this fan for a minute while we're talking?
We need to turn it this way. Right here? Have it down the aisle. Down the better. Down the aisle would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's fine, but we got.
Welding can be very rewarding, you know, because you can build a lot of things and you can look back on it and say, hey, I built that, you know, with my skills.
Growing up, he was quiet, and I mean, he always wanted to hang around his dad. Dad is his hero. They're tinkerers, you know what I call tinkerers. They're always using their hands and keeping busy with something. You know, they want to make something, you know, to make something better.
What got me into welding was it was one thing my dad didn't know how to do, so it kind of felt me superior when I was teaching him for the first time. Before I went to welding school, you know, I just took welding in my high school program.
He would weld very, very slow and carefully, like it was like, I know I'm going to do this, I know I'm going to do this.
And my welding was okay. But after Tulsa Welding School, I have a lot of confidence and I can go around the whole pipe without even stopping or anything. They show me every single position you can think of. You know, there's going to be a welding test for a company. I know Tulsa Welding School is going to train me for the exact same test that they're going to give me. They prepare you for your career.
When he graduated, he got a job. They helped him find a job. And when he brought home his first paycheck, we looked at each other and it's like 30 years of us working, you know, he was making more in 1 week than we were. You know, it's just unbelievable, you know, what that has opened for him.
Welding has really rewarded myself and my family. I like to do for fun. I like to come back home to my ranch and take my ATVs and go around, you know, go crazy. I like to go really fast. I have a lot of stuff to do now, you know. I think in five more years I want to have probably 3 rig trucks all ready to go, maybe 4, maybe 5. And if I'm not using them, I'll rent them out. And well, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because people are going to steal my idea. I don't have to really worry about financial problems or anything. Just steer forward and look up what's ahead, and there's nothing to look back and nothing to regret. I like welding because if you do a good job and you work hard at it, it's very rewarding, and the money isn't that either. You know, you can travel anywhere you want to, you can build anything you want to, you know, 'cause everything in this world, you know, is welded up. You can take your truck and go in any direction, and you're guaranteed to find a welding job anywhere you go. You know, with all the education you get and all the education you can get out of Tulsa Welding School, you know, they set you up for solid standing with your career. I'm Ryan Sinezio, and I'm a Tulsa Welding School graduate.
I think I decided to go into welding just because of how interesting it is, how many different things you can do with it, from building cars to, you know, roller coasters or ships, tanks, you know, a bunch of that stuff. And it's just interested me, the whole hands-on part of the trade, rather than sitting there reading out of a book. You can actually sit there and read off of a blueprint and then create something out of it. Before graduating high school, leading up to graduating high school, we had that, there's always that sense of being lost, kind of, what do we do?
There probably were some questions about what Matt's future would look like, just because he always needed something that was different than conventional.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. You know, I'm about to be 18, technically an adult.
He was always really good at wanting to do things and make things with his hands.
I hated sitting in a classroom.
I was very excited when he stumbled on an interest in welding.
And I don't think that I realized how much I was going to like welding, but it just seemed like a good decision. It just seemed like it, kind of the whole idea of it fell into place at such a good time that it was hard to pass up on it. Even if I wasn't a welder for a living, I could still have a great time building things and doing things that I could only do if I knew how to weld.
Bail out. We're gonna look cool. Hey, you just gonna introduce yourself, go around, talk about the school, talk about
Getting myself a piece of land, having a truck, and having solid work is probably one of the main goals right now. I'd like to have some room to do things, you know, shoot guns and have dogs, and the goal is definitely reachable. You just gotta put in hard work. Right now I'm working for a small shop, all welding shop, welding fabrication. It was all new to what they were doing. I had no idea how that shop ran.
Matt, early in his career, is doing very well for his age.
He was willing to give me a chance and kept me around.
He's got a lot of energy. he stays with it, and he tries to get, every time he welds, he tries to get that one better and better. And that's what you need, and that's what you want.
How's it going out there? I'm Zach Birds. I'm a senior welding instructor here at Tulsa.
I'm Shane Murphy, a senior welding instructor at Tulsa.
And I'm Brian Akers, senior instructor from Tulsa Welding School in Jacksonville, Florida.
We got about 220 welding booths out here at Jacksonville campus. We're open 15 hours a day. We run 3 shifts.
You got morning, afternoon, night. You can actually come in off your shift and get a little bit more practice. We offer that.
We have class days 3 days a week.
We start in phase 1. We start working on stick welding, just kind of teaching you how to strike up, how to be able to run a consistent bead on a plate in several different positions.
And we actually work our way up. It gets more difficult every phase that we do. The next phase is going to be vertical T-plates. It's a little bit more difficult, and then we go to overhead. And then our next phase.
Yeah, it's a periodic transition from structural all the way up to pipe, starting in phase 5. And then you learn how to TIG weld in phase 6. And when you get to my class, phase 7, I teach you how to walk the cup on a 2-inch pipe like we ran in some of the demos. As we go through, Zach teaches phase 8. We all generally teach all the phases, just depends on what we get put in during that phase or that 3 weeks. Anytime people come here, we are glad to help them out no matter what the weld is.
You can take this trade oh man, you can take this trade as far as you want to go with it. The main thing is you just got to kind of find what you're really good at, put in all your time. It's all about hood time, just being here every day. Attendance is key. Giving your all while you're here, you know, until you get out of here and we get a good job and decide which way we want to head.
That's exactly it. If you don't put the dedication in, it's just like anything. The more practice you get, the better you're going to get.
Yep.
I mean, we tell our students all day long, if you stay in that booth and you weld all 5 hours, like me personally, when I went to school here 7 years ago, I actually stayed in the booth for 10 hours every day. I would come in off my shift, get a little bit extra practice in, and it makes you more successful for sure.
Yeah. As we go through the school, there is also available phase 11, which is done through me, myself, and career services. We teach you an extracurricular activity for specific jobs. I had a job last week to come in here for students. They were looking to hire tube welders. The beauty of it is they make $27 an hour, $110 a day per diem. That was a good thing for them. And is just for us to do that, to teach people, that's where our job is more valuable to me, other than anything else. Even being in the field, this is way better because I enjoy what I do, and I'm sure these guys do. Shane he went to school here where he was one of my students. He was one of the first graduating classes. So I mean, it just speaks for itself.
It's full circle, full circle. Just got to come in here, put in your time, learn the trade, hands down, and you will be successful.
And we are here to teach you, you know, and that's what we love to do. Like Brian was saying, we don't want to be out in the field doing our own thing. We'd rather be in here to get you to where you need to be so you can go out in the field and make that money.
Yep. We have guys that come to school here that started off never welding to guys that do have experience, and all age groups, from high school students all the way up to people that could be our fathers or whoever that wants to learn the trade. It doesn't matter. We're here for them, and that's what we service for these guys, to learn how to weld. Word.
We'll be waiting on you.
That's right. Good luck. We look forward to working with you.
Yeah, hope to see you soon.
Welding does give you a lot of freedom, and I mean it gives you tons of freedom. You're looking at your world through a 2x4 window, and it is. That's that time honestly has no place once you drop your hood. If you drop your hood, you are in your own place. Working in Alaska's on the North Slope in particular is it's a different world. It's an awesome job. I absolutely love it. By far the best job I've ever had. Before working working in Alaska, I spent most of my time running my own personal rig, traveling from job to job, which didn't afford me the time to be home the way that my job in Alaska does.
What his career brings to the family it's stability, job stability, which I think is extremely important.
I have 3 weeks on and then 3 weeks off, and that 3 weeks off, that R&R, I enjoy at home. I'm able to be at home more.
Who he is, hard work is important to him, and that's his life. He wants to work hard to make sure that his loved ones are provided for, and I saw that right away.
Outside of college and Tulsa Welding School, I don't think I would have had a career like this. Not at all. When I'm not welding and I'm at home, relaxing, I just like to ride my bike. I love the sound. I love the sound. And that is there, when I'm riding, there's an incredible sense of freedom, that feeling of freedom. Working the way I do and the career that I have, when I'm ready to make upgrades, I don't have to wait. You know, if I wanted to go out and change the color, paint it, I can do it. Welding allows me to save money. It allows me to comfortably pay my expenses and to take care of my family the way, someone should, the way your family is supposed to be taken care of. I'm prepared for the unexpected. The adventure and the reward, the adventure and the reward. And I say adventure because I honestly don't believe I would have ever seen Africa or Paris or Germany if it wasn't for welding. If you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to put in the time, then the reward is well worth it. Well worth it. I honestly and strongly feel that I would not be where I am in my life and my career if it wasn't for Tulsa Welding School. It is the best decision I've ever made. I'm Clifford Moses, and I'm a Tulsa Welding School graduate.
I think I decided to go into welding just because of how interesting it is, how many different things you can do with it, from building cars to, roller coasters or ships, tanks, a bunch of that stuff. And it's just interested me, the whole hands-on part of the trade, rather than sitting there reading out of a book. You can actually sit there and read off of a blueprint and then create something out of it. Before graduating high school, leading up to graduating high school, we had that, there's always that sense of being lost, kind of, what do we do?
There probably were some questions about what Matt's future would look like, just because he always needed something that was different than conventional.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm about to be 18, I'm technically an adult.
He was always really good at wanting to do things and make things with his hands.
I hated sitting in a classroom.
I was very excited when he stumbled on an interest in welding.
And I don't think that I realized how much I was going to like welding, but it just seemed like a good decision. It just seemed like the whole idea of it fell into place at such a good time that it was hard to pass up on it. Even if I wasn't a welder for a living, I could still have a great time building things and doing things that I could only do if I knew how to weld. Getting myself a piece of land, having a truck, and having solid work is probably one of the main goals right now. I like to have some room to do things, shoot guns and have dogs, and the goal is definitely reachable. You just gotta put in hard work. Right now I'm working for a a small shop, all welding shop, welding fabrication. It was all new to what they were doing. I had no idea how that shop ran.
Matt, early in his career, is doing very well for his age.
He was willing to give me a chance and kept me around.
He's got a lot of energy. He stays with it, and he tries to get, every time he welds, he tries to get that one better and better. And that's what you need, and that's what you want. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for hiring young people, but I'm not. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll hire another Tulsa graduate if I get a chance and grow.
It's cool to finally find something that I was actually decent at and felt like I could work to get better at it, and just had that interest in it, you know. And going through welding school, we got tired, sweaty, burnt, and to come in there and kind of get graded and pushed to your limits, and then someone tell you, yeah, like, you did a pretty good job. You're like, all that work I just put in, it feels good. And it doesn't change in the workplace either. It's cool. It's just a really cool factor to it. You know, most people can't deny they feel a little cooler when they got their hood on and they're welding and people walk by and look at them, you know. I'm Matt Krause, and I'm a Tulsa Welding School graduate.
Welding can be very rewarding, you know, because you can build a lot of things and you can look back on it and say, hey, I built that, you know, with my skills.
Growing up, he was quiet, and I mean, he always wanted to hang around his dad. Dad is his hero. They're tinkerers, you know what I call tinkerers. They're always using their hands and keeping busy with something. You know, they want to make something, you know, to make something better.
What got me into welding was it was one thing my dad didn't know.